I've got two stories in one video for you. That's value. They're both very much related regarding relationships and having a kid and decisions that don't go so well regarding those topics. Now, let's read from the top. By the way, this has 6,400 upvotes. Am I the jerk for telling my girlfriend to live with the decision that she made? Me and my girlfriend Autumn, fake name obviously, had our child 8 months ago. We were college students before the baby and are college students now. We weren't and still are not rich, but before the baby, we were relatively comfortable. We had to struggle a few times, but we could pay our bills on time and put food on the table. We didn't have to panic at the end of every month, basically. Also, I used protection. When we found out Autumn was pregnant, she seriously considered whether or not if she wanted to get rid of the kid. She would always speak to me about it, but wouldn't really care for my opinion anytime I tried to offer it. I was okay with that because it's her body, and she should choose what she wants. When she finally did ask, however, I gave her my honest opinion. I told her that I love her and will support whatever decision she makes, but we simply don't have the money to support a baby. And if she chooses to have the baby, we will be struggling badly. Fast forward a few months later, and she permanently decided that she wants to keep the baby. I supported her, obviously, but it's now been 8 months and 2 days since the birth of my daughter. The problem here is that every other day, she complains and lets it be known she wouldn't have chosen to have our baby if she knew we would be in such a financial situation. Finally, after 8 months, I got fed up and told her, the quote, "The facts are you chose to have a baby, and you're not going to say every day how you regret having her. Be a grown-up and live with the decision you made," end quote. She responded by telling me how I chose to have a baby with her too, and how I needed to support her. Basically, she started yelling, and I just took our daughter and left. It's been a few days since this happened, and she said multiple times that she doesn't think she's wrong. I really want the third opinion. Am I the jerk? Top comment says, not the jerk. I don't care whether it's hard having the kid or not. Parents need to lose the habit of saying they regret having kids. Kids never need to hear their parents say that. And if parents say it every day, it's only a matter of time before they say it in front of the kid. She's 8 months old now, but she is learning to understand language. She understands tone now. Pretty soon, she'll understand words and be saying words herself. Do you and your girlfriend want her to know from a young age what a burden she is? Time to stop saying that she was a mistake, and time to stop thinking of her that way. Both of you need to accept the decision you made or decide if your child would be better off if you gave her up for adoption so she can start over with people who would love her and be glad to have her. Well, I mean, I mostly agree with that take, but it sounds like the husband likes the daughter. I mean, he just admits that, you know, their financial situation is really tough to have a kid in, and there's nothing wrong with admitting that if that's, you know, the reality of the situation, which I'm going to assume is, because as always, these Reddit posts might be fabricated. You never know for sure. You just kind of have to go with it and, you know, just have fun with the story and all that. Now, obviously, saying have fun is a bit, I don't know, sounds a little odd when we're talking about a relationship and it not going well. But you know what I mean, figure of speech. Let me actually clarify something as well. Not only is it okay to acknowledge that your financial situation is not not going to be very good, not going to be very well off for supporting a kid, because it's tough enough just supporting yourself, man, in this day and age. Now, they're in a relationship, you can argue split funds, that sort of thing. Okay, fair enough, but they're both college students. They have a hard time, you know, supporting each other in the relationship, let alone having a kid on top of that. So for the mother to say that if she would have known that having the baby would put them in such a financial situation, that just screams negligence to me. How do you not know that? How can you not get a reasonable assumption of how much it will cost to have the kid? You know what your income is, you know what the expenses are going to be roughly, and you should be able to make a reasonable assumption of if it's a good idea or not. Especially in this case where the husband overtly told her, hey, we're not really in the position to do this, but I support you if you still want to have the kid. And she, you know, chose to do that and then seems to want to have no responsibility at all for the kid. I would say as much as, you know, it even seems like almost negligence that she didn't take a better look at her financial situation before saying yes. Anyways, let's move on to story number 2. Now, before we get started on this one, you probably noticed the giant green square in the middle of the screen. That's because I am removing an entire paragraph from the story. We don't need that information. They go on to explain how the kid came to be. Literally don't need that info. Let's take it from the top. Am I the jerk for making my daughter get her own place after getting pregnant with almost 13,000 upvotes? My daughter, 25, has always wanted kids. She's just been that type of person. I always knew that she said she'd do it alone if she needed to, but did say she'd wait until 30. She just graduated from a master's program and got her first 9-to-5 job, well paying, so she's been living with us to save for a house. Here's the thing. Our house is small. We have a room, and let me just stop there and say, see, you really don't need that other paragraph. It fits perfectly, just moving on to the third paragraph there. Anyways, okay. Here's the thing. Our house is small. We have a room for my daughter, a room for me and my wife, and then an office for me since I work from home. After talking about it with my wife, we told her, I guess the daughter, she would have 9 months to move out. I said I would support her emotionally, but I don't want a baby here. She said they'd share a room. I said she shouldn't have tried to conceive while under our roof, and that had it been an accident, I'd be more than willing to let her stay, but she did it on purpose. She can afford rent elsewhere. She just wants to save money. Now, here's the important info that we did skip from the middle. So apparently she's a lesbian, and that's why, if the story sounds kind of odd about not having a man, or for the kid and all that, that's why. So again, you can assume how that came to be. Anyways, here's how it ends. She can afford rent elsewhere. She just wants to save money. She broke down crying and said she thought we'd be happy. She hasn't spoken to us since. Am I being the jerk? Let's take a look at the top comment, and then I'll give my opinion. Not the jerk. Planning a pregnancy while living rent-free in someone else's house without even talking with them first is definitely the jerk move. You are not throwing her out helpless in the street either. She can support herself financially, but just hasn't wanted to. Once again, that's actually going to be kind of similar to my take. I want to go over some important things, though. So she graduated from a master's program and got her first 9-to-5, a well-paying job, so she's been living with us to save for a house. And also this part. She can afford rent elsewhere. She just wants to save money. So if she has a well-paying job, I can guarantee you that she can still get like a 1-bedroom apartment, or maybe even a two-bedroom apartment, another room for the kid if she wants it that way. At some point, I don't know how it works with the baby. I think, you stay in the same room until the baby's a certain age or something. I don't really know. But the point is, I'm confident she would be able to afford that situation, either one, and still save a decent amount of money to have a house. So it's a bit unfair that she has a well-paying job and she's putting that off on the parents, like saying it's their fault. And also, again, so one of the parents works from home, and I can only imagine how that person would be taken advantage of with the kid being there. Suddenly would go from, instead of just giving a shelter, well, I want you to babysit the kid as well and take care of the kid and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it seemed like the daughter thought she really had a sweet deal there. Doesn't have to pay rent. She's going to have the parents that work from home watching the kids anyways. I mean, wow, she really thought she had a great deal. She was really taking advantage. Now, I'm going to walk that back slightly. I don't know her line of thought. I'm going a bit extreme there. But to be fair, with this story, kind of comes off that way. Not a good look. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And I'd like to end with 2 more comments actually right after the top one, because similar line of thought. I'm kind of curious what they're saying. 3 guesses who she thinks will be babysitting while she works her 9-to-5 too. Yeah, 6,600 people upvoting. I think a lot of us got that impression. And then we got this one more. I'm also 25 with a stable job, living with my parents to save money to eventually buy a house. I got pregnant, not on purpose, and after telling my parents, one of the first things I asked was if I needed to move out. I can understand not wanting a baby in the house, especially once all of your kids are grown. I couldn't imagine intentionally getting pregnant and expecting to stay with my parents, especially without discussing it with them. Who does that? And on top of that, I'm going to add again, as we all know, with at least one of the parents working from home as well, really unfair. Anyways, I'm going to start sounding like a broken record, repeating my points. So let me leave it there. And again, look forward to seeing what you will say in the comments below. And I'll catch you all next time. Peace.